Okay, go ahead, Libby.
Well, a little bit about me. I started my business technically, I guess, I signed last year. It was not a really good time for me because I was just looking into it to basically get more money while I was in college. I was living in a dorm room my freshman year. I was very depressed, very isolated, not a very social person at all. And I figured that would be like a way to force myself out into the light, I guess I should say. And it failed for me because I still was so depressed and so shy, and buying a kit didn't change anything for me then. Since then, though, I have moved up to Columbus. I was living on the river between Ohio and West Virginia in a college dorm, but now I live up in Columbus, and I love it. I have a great support system now, and I pretty much think that what changed for me between last year and this year is mainly the fact that I had such a great support system now. I didn't have that support system when the only person I talked to in a day's time was my roommate. It's really, really changed for me because I do have the support system that I have now. And Steph is very right. I'm not much of a flamboyant, outgoing person. And that's probably been my biggest struggle even now, is getting out there and talking to people and developing new connections with people that I've never met before. Because right now I feel like I might throw up just talking to you guys. And it just really goes to show that in this business, you don't have to be a certain mold to be even remotely successful. And it also shows that even with this business, if shit happens, you can jump back into it and pull yourself back up from your bootstraps and do well with it. So that's pretty much my story. I got a job at, I was waitressing for a while last summer. Now I work at Children's Hospital up in Columbus. It's wonderful, but it just wasn't fulfilling my social need, I guess, again. But I think that's one of the main reasons I do this business is because it gets me out of my house, gets me away from my boyfriend, and gets probably him some good, nice, old-fashioned alone time away from me because he's my only friend. So that's pretty my story. Yeah.
Okay, so seriously, they've been
Are
quiet.
you still muted? Okay.
You now? Okay. So I am so sorry. So we'll go ahead and get started. If you want to go ahead and go through, I'm going to record everything. So yeah, go ahead, do your thing.
All right. So when Steph approached me about doing the call, she gave me a couple of ideas for the call and stuff like, hey, how did you get started with your business, or the top 10 tips for newbies or whatever. I chose to do the top 10 tips and tricks for newbies, by newbies, for newbies. Simply just because it's what I would have told myself a year ago when I started this business. And then again, 3 months ago, whenever I really started my business. And I mean, I think the first one that I personally know that I struggled with in the beginning was knowing your product. And I don't know if you guys can see it. Can you see it? Yeah, I don't know. Knowing your product. And one of the struggles as a new consultant that I see a lot with all the different Facebook pages is, oh my gosh, there's so much information. How do I process all of this? How do I remember it all? How do I handle it? And one of the best ways that I did it was I went through the catalog product by product by product and created an inventory spreadsheet. And I know spreadsheets aren't for everybody because I know that personally, I just know that. And, but it helped me remember, even though I didn't have an inventory to plug into that spreadsheet yet, that it helped me get an idea of what all we have. It made me read the description and look at single thing we had in the catalog. And it was a great booster for me. And then, I'm going to unmute everybody. Okay, unmute you. Or is everybody muted? Or everybody muted? Oh. Okay.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Do you need somebody? Did you have a question?
Oh, just everybody. I had a little back and forthy.
Oh, sorry.
Thing. Oh, you're fine.
Do you want me to unmute everybody?
Yeah.
Or just say, let me see if I can unmute everybody. Oh, there it is. They changed all the format. Okay.
Two of you ladies has been in business for around 2 to 3 months like I had, or even seasoned consultants.
Me.
What is your favorite way to remember the information that you're given? Like, what is your favorite way to remember the products?
I done party school a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I probably go on party school at least 2 hours a day.
That's awesome.
I just like memorize it. That's about the only thing that I actually do. That, and I like to do graphs in my head to tell me exactly what is my bestseller.
Well, that's awesome. That's a great way to do that. And then what do you do with that? Do you just kind of keep track of it and just work off of that? And
That's exactly what I do. And then I keep more on hand of what I sell the most of. If I don't sell a lot of it and I have it in stock, I'll sell it out, and then I will order something that I sell more of instead of keeping stock on stuff that's not selling.
that's a great way to do that, since you don't want to like start stocking up on the stuff you're never going to sell. It's great. What does anybody else do to help memorize all of the new information that's thrown at you? I know I took a lot of notes when I was in party school.
So Amanda said in the chat, actually, I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody. We'll use the chat box.
Okay, that works.
A lot of background noise.
I'm telling her a story and then you can have her.
All right, let me mute this.
And because I've always been either in class or at Columbus State on Tuesday nights, so I have no idea how these are actually run.
Okay, so Amanda said, my favorite way to remember products is to clump them by category, and I have a spreadsheet like you do. Ditto with Ricky, keeping sellable stuff in stock.
It's a great way to do that. So aside from knowing the product, actually just give me 1 second. My dog's whining at the door. She has to go out. Just give me 1 minute. Sideways. Come on, girl.
Oh, seriously.
Sorry. So the second tip that I like to try and keep in mind is what y'all are doing right now. Go to meetings. Our monthly Team Honey Badgers meetings are probably one of the most things I look forward to in a month, simply just because I get so much good information. There's sisterhood there. I mean, it's just wonderful because I can't express just how much I've learned from attending these meetings. One thing you hear over and over in this business is stay a student, but Pure Romance makes it crazy easy to do that. There are tons of opportunities. There are these calls once a week. There are the monthly meetings. There's the trainings that are coming up, the bus tours, things like that. And I've only really been selling things for less than 4 months now, but I can't tell you how much I've learned simply just because I go to meetings. It's evolved so much, and how many new tricks I've learned to sell certain things. Like last month, I just finally learned how to sell kits because I had no idea how to sell it. And meetings and calls and trainings really are opportunities as businesswomen to confer and consult with each other and help each other grow our businesses. And number 3, right now, really struck really hard with me last month, because you will have a bad party and people will get mad at you. It's part of the business. Any business person is going to have somebody that got mad at them. But you treat it like a learning experience, conflict resolution training, if you will. I know it can be really soul crushing, but a sister consultant is never more than the text and email, Facebook message, call away. I mean, if I didn't have the sport that I did last month because I had a Rocky party, I was making myself ill at work. I was so nervous about how I was going to handle this hostess that was angry at me for back orders. I didn't know what I was going to do until I talked it over with Steph. I talked it over with a couple of other teammates that I had, and it made me feel a lot better. And it also helped me handle things better. I felt that I handled that hostess fairly well. And if anybody wants to share a really good example of conflict resolution that they did in the chat box, that would be awesome, because I want to see what other people also view as good conflict resolution. And then also to remember that some hostesses think you're wonderful and that stuff like glitter and rainbows just shoot out your butt all the time, and you really need to remember those hostesses whenever you're dealing with one that's not happy with you. Remember that it's not because you're a sucky consultant. Remember that it might just be a bad situation, or something's on back order, or a miscommunication or something like that. You're not a terrible person. You're not a terrible consultant. And that's something I had to learn last month. And last month I had I had a hostess when we had a big party, and it was a really big party weekend where everything just got cleared out of corporate, I think. Like everything was on back order. And there was one particular toy that 3 women bought, and it was just craziness because it was on back order for almost 3 weeks. And I had talked with this hostess, but by the time of the party, it wasn't on the back order list. But I did try and see if there was anything else I could give them, things like that. But it was great to resolve that, and I ended up giving them an extra little free product to go along with it, and I think it ended up being smooth over well. But it was very disheartening to hear that the hostess wasn't happy with my job, regardless if it was my fault or corporate's fault or anybody's fault. It was very disheartening, but I talked to Steph, I talked to Tammy Davis, I talked to several other people about what was going on, and they really helped me through it. They talked me through it. It's a great support system. You really need to lean on it if you ever have these issues. But that's pretty much what happened with me last month. But everybody's going to have their version of a bad party where they just want to block everything out of their mind that happened that night, block every other communication out of their mind. It just happens. And it's part of being in business. It's something that every salesperson goes through. But the next one, number 4, use the COO. I cannot express this one enough, because it is a wealth of opportunities and a wealth of information that you can use to better your business. You don't have to go through all the hard work of typing up a wonderful 40 guests in 40 minutes, or you don't have to go through the work of Hostess Bingo and stuff like that whenever it's already made for you. They take the hard work out of it for you. They make it easy for you. Especially what we talked about at our last meeting with Team Honey Badgers, the party planning website. There's partyplanning.pureromance.com that has the most amazing things for you, the most amazing resources that walks you through the entire steps of hostess calling, party planning, hostess packets, things like that. And it's a really great resource for you. And actually I have some examples I'm going to pull up and show you guys if you haven't explored all of the resources from the COO and everything. One of my more important ones is my number 5, and that's find a sounding board. Find people who are going to listen to you. Find anything that's going to listen to you, because I can guarantee you my dog has listened to my demo more times than I can count. Find anybody to run through your demo, to play games with, I've had my boyfriend throw rings at Mr. Dependable just to see how easy it is and see if he can do it. Because if he can't do it, then I doubt a bunch of drunk partygoers are not going to be able to do it either. Test new demo one-liners on them. I mean, it's great, because it just helps you get more confident with it. It helps you run through it. My boyfriend's actually listened to me tell this training already once today. It's just great to have that support system, whether it's your dog, because like I said, I talk to her probably more than any other person in a day. My boyfriend, anything like that. Who's your sounding board? Who is yours? I mean, is it your mom? Because I know my mom, God bless her, has sat through my demo as well. I don't think her face will ever return to the normal color. It's a great opportunity to have that circle that you have in contact with. But yeah, I mean, boyfriends, moms, it seems like my boyfriend's mom helped me write half this training because she was a saleswoman, and it was a great way to take care of that. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's great to have that sounding board, and it's great to have that feedback whenever they say, oh God, please don't do that. Please don't make that face. Don't do that. Don't do that demo. Don't do that when you demo it. It's great to also have the positive and the negative feedback before you go and show it at a party. My number 6 is also kind of quirky and dorky, but it works for me. Make it a personal goal to get as many no's as possible. We've all heard it that for every X number of no's, you get Y number of yeses. That's true. I mean, if 1 out of every 10 ladies you come into contact with wants to book a party or buy a product, it's worth those 90 no's for those 10 yeses. And I actually make a little game out of it. Like I said, quirky and dorky, which is my personal tagline. I actually have a little sheet of noses. For whenever I get a nose, I cross one off. I try and get 9 noses for every 1 yes. Right here. Yeah. I'm a very visual person, and I like to do things this way. It's like my own little personal daily board. And it's great. I can post it on Facebook later, but like I said, it's just a great little quirky. It's like, yeah, I get a cross off, and no, it makes it less, oh, they shot me down. It's like, yeah, I get a cross one off. Maybe by the time I get to 10, I'll get a yes. It's just kind of a fun way to do that. And like I said, I'll post all of this stuff on the Honey Badgers. I actually have like a big outline of stuff with all of this stuff listed. I'll post that on a page later. I posted on it earlier. So number 7 is one that I actually am really excited about for this summer. It's hold your own little personal booking blitz, because booking blitzes don't have to be company-wide. You can do them, you can set your own goals and reward hostesses as you please. I mean, what I would just tell hostesses, I'm like trying to meet my own personal goal right now. It would be really awesome. But never mind. Oh, I'm confused. Sorry. I was reading the chat box. I got confused. But hold your own little personal booking blitz. Blitz doesn't have to be company-wide. I'm challenging myself to one right now in the summer and calling it my seductive summer. And I hope to have 15 parties booked in the month of June, July, and August. In the beginning, it's all about making connections and broadening your client base. It's somewhat hard, if you're like me, who's very shy, very introverted, very nervous to talk to other people, especially people you don't know. But actually, one of the things that helped me out the most is actually something that we put in our hostess packets. I got to find it here. And it's also on the CLO. It's in a folder here. I'm going to grab it out. Which is the guest brainstorming, or the 40 guests in 40 minutes worksheet, because it's a great way to sort of make a jumping off point for whenever you're trying to do a blitz. It's not just for that client. It's also for you to use as well, because you might not think of past coworkers or your neighbor or the other PTA moms or anything like that. And actually, I have a tip 7.5. Don't rule anybody out. Don't think because your neighbor seems super straight-laced that you're not going to try and have her book a party or introduce you to her products. For all we know, that she's dying to find out about our products. She needs our products in her life, but she just doesn't know because you think that she might be too uptight or might not have the money or anything like that. Let other people tell you no, rather than assuming they're not going to want to do it. And that's actually gotten me past. That's actually was my first party. I had a party with my stepmom and my sister-in-law. Was my very first party, and they were literally 2 people who sat there and listened to me red-faced and nervous. But I never would have figured that they would want to do one, but I just kind of pushed past that and said, well, you never know. I'll just send her a message, see if she wants to do it. And it ended really well, and it made me realize just how much I love this business after that first party high, and it's like, oh my God, I sold $300. It was wonderful. So yeah, just don't rule anybody out. It's really easy to try and block people out of your mind. Like, I never would have figured that my grandma would love Pure Romance products as much as I do. She buys Body Dew by the case. I mean, she loves it. Yeah, just don't write anybody out. And number 8 is one of my favorite ones because I'm actually really excited about them. And it's pretty much keep business cards and catalogs on you at all times. Whether you're in your car, I have a little pocket on the back seat of my car. I just stick everything in it. I have hostess packets on me at all times. But I've made connections with ladies simply by leaving like a little fan of business cards on the bathroom counter at a bar. People have called me back and said, oh my gosh, I was just kind of curious about what you do. I've made plans to make parties with these ladies. I mean, it's just, you never know what's going to happen. And for so little effort it takes just to fan out some business cards and put them on the counter. And actually, I've also cut out certain pages of the catalogs and left them out on the counters of ladies' restrooms again. It's a great way to use up last season's catalogs. I did this with the winter catalogs. And I always put a little label on it that says, this was old, but don't be blue. Call me today and see what's new. And I actually get calls because they say, oh my gosh, that label was so cute. What do you have new? And it's little things like that, like cute rhymes and leaving your business cards in places. They're really worth it, and they don't take much effort at all. I mean, it's just that split second of, let's throw some here, or let's throw some there. It's just kind of, but it really boosts your business. And then I have number 9, which is hostess packets are your best friend. They're so wonderful because not only does it help keep your hostess on track, it helps keep you on track, and it makes you look prepared. When I did my first couple of parties, it never crossed my mind to do a hostess packet because I had no idea what they were. I just didn't know. And they keep your hostess informed and excited. And the things that I include in mine are things like the 40 guests in 40 minutes. I do hostess bingo, and that's actually on the CO, and you can customize it to whatever you want in these little boxes. Like mine's, if they get everything, they get a free bottle of coochie or something like that. Like, they're completely customizable. I don't know if anybody else has stumbled across it like I have. But I also put in the 40 minutes and 40 people in 40 minutes. I do a little housekeeping letter, basically outlining everything that you should outline on the first hostess call, as well as actually calling them and outlining it. Because sometimes it tends to go in one ear and out the other, and you show up and they have babies in the room and they should not have babies in the room. And that way you can actually say, hey, but I told you it was right here in this thing I gave you, not, oh my gosh, I missed that. I also put in my own personal hostess rewards thing. And like I said, I'll be putting this up on the Facebook page as well. Actually, I think I stole this from another consultant that had it posted on her website, but it's wonderful. And it also has a little place for them to already get started on their wish list. It has a little thing that shows them how much they'll get in profit. It has a little thing, like I said, lines for wish list, so you can already get excited and know what they want whenever you first walk in the room. I also do a little spring specials and sales, or summer specials and sales, or winter, or whatever season it is. These are my own little personal sales. And I do a couple of order forms and envelopes. I have the hostess brochure, as well as the sponsoring brochure, and I think I've got them mixed up. Yeah, this one's a party, this one's a sponsoring. As well as the handwritten thank you note, because that's probably going to be the most important thing in these folders. And I always put it like right in the very inside pocket so they see it, just a little quick, hey, hottie hostess, can't wait to party with you and your girls. Thanks for supporting my business and can't wait to see you guys, or something like that. It doesn't have to be personal, it just has to be a little quick thing, and then you write a personalized one later. That's what I do anyway. But probably the best part about the hostess packets that I've noticed, simply just because I'm one of those nerds who loves to go into Office Max or Staples and buy up all the pretty things, all the things. I'm a stationary person, I'm a nerd at heart. But I go into Walmart or Meijer and I go to the clearance section, and they always have school supplies in the clearance section. And I buy cute, glitter, pretty folders, always. And I've literally booked parties because people think that the folders are pretty. I was handing a camo one, actually like this, I have a bunch of these, to a hostess who had booked another party with me. And one of her guests goes, oh my gosh, what is that? And I told her there was her friend's hostess packet for hosting a party, and she immediately wanted one too. She booked a party for a 25-cent folder. It happens like that. But I just try and make them cute and things like that. But these packets at every party, they show that you're prepared, and it makes them very confident in your own party, or their party whenever they book with you. And it shows that you thought ahead of them, or you expected them to book with you whenever you walked in the door, which shows you're confident about your business. And then actually the very last one that I have is a gigantic cliche, but don't compare your business to other people's. Just don't. I don't know if you guys can read these or not, but I'm just going to keep holding them up. Yeah, don't compare your business to anybody else's. Every rock star you see in Pure Romance started by popping their box, pulling everything out of it, and going either, holy crap, I can't wait to get started, or, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? I personally was the second one, but I cannot be more excited about it now. It can be so easy to compare yourself with someone who's been in business for years and is rocking her business, but you have to remember that every single person's business is like them. No two are the same. We can take advice and learn from each other, borrow certain sales tricks and the like, but when it comes down to it, you are your business. You can't copy. Like, my business isn't going to be Ricky's business. Ricky's business isn't going to be Tiama's business. Jody's business isn't going to be my business. Because we're also different people. Some people might be more flamboyant and theatrical, but some people might be more low-key like myself. Just everybody's different, as well as their businesses, and it wouldn't be fair to you to try and compare yourself to somebody who's been in the business for years and has their shit figured out, while you're just kind of over here like me when I first started floundering. You just can't make that comparison because there is no comparison. It's like comparing apples to zucchini. There's not even the fruit aspect. But if anybody else, I think that's actually all I have for you guys, except for the fact that you not only are individuals and your businesses suit your individuality, but you mold your business into what you need to be. And actually, I think I'm going to add a last little number 11 here. Life happens. It does. You can bounce back. You can pull yourself back up. Life happens to me. Life happened to everybody. Something happens, you can get over it and you can get out of it. But yeah, you mold your business into what you need it to be. Like right now, I need it to help pay for my schooling. Other people might need it to pay rent. I mean, it's just, some people might think of it as a fun little hobby side job. It's just whatever you need your business to be. And I think that's all I have.
Awesome. You did such a good job. I know this was super out of your comfort zones. I'm so proud of you. All right, girls. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a few minutes. If you guys have questions about anything at all, everybody is currently muted. However, if you have questions, if you just click where it says raise hand, or you can use the chat, we can go ahead and Libby will answer any questions that you